Hey guys, I'm Tav, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here once again with the cute, cuddly Skaven, going to be taking on the green skins, so let's go ahead and jump straight to the army composition. So, for my Lord, of course, I've got Lord Skrulk, who is by far the most competitive pick on the roster. For the Skaven, we'll just briefly go over his spell loadout here. He's got Pestilent Breath, which is a nice non-armor piercing breath attack, very good against low armor infantry. Vermin-Tide to summon more clan rats. Stand your ground. He's also got both items, Rod of Corruption and Liber Bubonicus for the direct damage and area of single target direct damage and area of effect direct damage. We've got the Plague Furnace, of course, for the drain, as well as an Assassin to help protect Skrulk. In terms of infantry, we've got 2 units of Plague Monks with a front line of Clan Rats, 3 units of Rat Ogres, a Hell Pit Abomination, 1 unit of Slaves there. And that's pretty much it for my build, so just a mix of Clan Rat Spears, and some specialty units. For the green skins, we've got the Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers here. Over here, we've got some more Spider Rider Archers. These are actually the Death Creepers who have Stock and Regenerate. Very strong regiment of renown. In terms of the rest of the army, we've got some Night Goblins here. 3 units of Night Goblins. One of them is the 8-Peak Loonies Unbreakable Regiment of Renown. We've also got 4 units of Black Orcs. Let's see, 2 Goblin Archers and the Rusty Heirs. Wurzag is the Lord here. That's a pretty good pick in this matchup, as well as a Goblin Big Boss on a Spider. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick the battle into full gear, and we'll watch as things unfold. So, you know, Doom Wheels can potentially be very good in this matchup, but personally, I've been seeing a lot of spiders recently, Ragnarok spiders, when playing the Skaven versus the Greenskins, so I decided to take the Hell Pit Abomination to help deal with that. Of course, we've got the Plague Furnace, which is pretty much a must-pick in every matchup, as well as these Plague Monks here, who are going to be very good against most Greenskin infantry, pretty much everything except for Black Orcs. And to help deal with Black Orcs, of course, we've got the Rat Ogres. The Hell Pit can help with that. The Plague Claw Catapult is also here to help deal with, you know, those types of units, as well as the Drain. You know, we've got plenty of things to kill armored infantry, so not too worried about that. You can see right off the bat, going to be getting okay contact. Didn't actually take down any unit models there, but it does apply that Contaminate effect. So if we look down here, it's -10 leadership, which, considering the Greenskins generally have relatively low morale all across the board, can definitely be very strong to damage their leadership. You can see these Gobbo Archers going down to only 4 leadership from that shot there. So you can see it's very easy to rout off these Gobbo units very, very quickly. My opponent doing a great job moving around the flank here, going to be pressuring my side with those Spider Rider Archers. These Gobbos up in the front line, though, are a little bit far ahead of the Black Orcs here. We're going to hit them with that Contaminate effect, take down quite a few unit models as well, and then immediately just move in for the Alpha Strike here. Rat Ogre is going to get a quick charge, do a ton of shock damage, just come in here with the Rat Hulk Smash, and then immediately circle over to the other unit. We're peppering them with fire as well, and you know, all this together means that this Goblin unit is going to rout without having done anything at all. So just using those stacking leadership debuffs and the shock damage to rout off those units right off the bat. You can see my opponent still pushing up through the forest here, which in and of itself is going to give him some cover. So that's a pretty good play in that respect. We summoned up some Clan Rats here in the back line to block up these spiders and to keep them from getting onto the catapult. Excuse me. We've also got these Clan Rats, or sorry, the Rat Ogres on station, in order to kind of screen out those missiles as well. If they decide to try and come in melee on the catapult, we'll be able to screen out with the Rat Ogres, but here comes the Wog charge up through the middle. We've got Orc Boarboy Biggins, and it looks like Wurzag's going to be casting some kind of spell here. Not 100% sure exactly what, but yeah, the Greenskins obviously are going to run over the Slaves here, but we're following up, bringing the Rat Ogres and the Plague Monks and all that jazz up through this center pocket. We're also bringing Skrulk in. You can see him unleashing his magic here, so that Rod of Corruption is going to be doing a ton of damage to these Black Orcs and the other units in his pocket. Of course, the Plague Drain is online as well, and the Hell Pit Abomination's here, and the Hell Pit Abomination, very importantly, causes terror. So obviously Greenskins having relatively low morale, being weak to terror, is going to be a pretty big issue. You can see a very nice effigy to get from my opponent, freezing that Plague Priest in place, and the Gobbo Firing Squad is online and focusing down that Plague Priest as much as possible. We tried to summon some Clan Rats up in the back line to get on them, but a little bit of poor micro from me, not quite getting there. You can see the Spider Riders tried to come in and take down the catapult. They were able to shut it down, take the crew off, but we did respond with the rat ogres and, you know, these clan rats and so on, and we're able to take down quite a few of those spider riders. But this kind of mosh pit here in the center is definitely going to favor the Skaven. Although you may think it would favor the greenskins, just the drain effects, the stacking drain effects, and all that jazz is going to be pretty rough. Very nice brain burster there. I'm assuming that Wurzag actually has the item. Yep, looks like Bonewood Staff, given some really nice buffs, so very nicely done there from my opponent using those cheap spells to just keep proccing off that Bonewood Staff. There goes an Headbutt, and does quite a bit of damage actually, so very nicely played for my opponent, but we do have the Hell Pit Abomination in the back line, going to be helping to deal with that that big boss there. Actually, I'm going to go back and it looks like try and terrify away those Goblin Archers. Wurzag has taken one cast of the Liber Bubonicus. If he takes one more, he's going to get very, very low, as is kind of the tail of the tape here. But so far, very even battle. You can see we're chasing in the back line with Clan Rats. Probably a little bit over chasing here, but we're going to try and get this artillery crew back online as quickly as possible. The Plague Priest has taken a lot of damage, but critically is still online. There's 3 units of Black Orcs here still fighting, all very, very tattered, but we still got some Plague Monks here fighting as well. Skrulk himself is in here, you know, dishing out the Contaminate effect, and, you know, he's a pretty solid combatant in and of himself, and, yeah, just kind of holding the line here, holding up all these Black Orcs, letting the drain kind of do its work, and while the Hell Pit Abomination helps clean things up in the back line, you can see we're able to rout off a lot of these Goblin Archers here. Rusty Arrows, unfortunately, are still online, but one more cast of the Rod of Corruption here, and just watch how much damage it does to this massive area of effect here. These 3 units of Black Orcs were just left here a little bit too long against these different drain effects, and it is going to be the death of them, unfortunately. This other unit of Black Orcs doing very well, but caught up with the Rat Ogres here, and now Clan Rats coming in from behind. Definitely going to be a pretty rough situation, all things considered. Just trying to get the crew back online, but my opponent very wisely snags them with the Death's Creepers there. And one more cast of the FG to get should actually finish off this Plague Priest, but it's already got 53 kills and done a lot of work, so it does indeed go down there. And this Goblin Big Boss is going to try and get in here, excuse me, and finish off Skrulk. Very nice, another very nice Brain Blister for my opponent. Unfortunately, Wurzag has taken that last cast of the Liber Bubonicus there, very, very low on health, and Skrulk's no pushover in melee. He's got 62 melee attack, 45 melee defense, and you can see he's able to dispatch that Goblin Big Boss there with the support of the Assassin, of course. But yeah, at this point we're just going to try and roll up the Greenskin forces. Army losses are getting pretty close to proccing, and with Wurzag routing, a lot of these other units over here routing, it is going to be victory for the Skaven. So very well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that battle. It was a lot of fun to play. It's an interesting matchup. You know, previously I would have said that Greenskins have the downside of that matchup, and I do still think that is the case. But it's a lot more even than I think that most people give it credit for. Wurzag is definitely a strong pick in this matchup, can help shut down Doom Wheels and other large entity models. Fortunately, my opponent just wasn't able to shut down that Plague Priest fast enough before we did a lot of damage. Likewise, Lord Skrulk himself getting those casts of the Rod of Corruption ended up doing a ton of damage. Overall, my opponent fared pretty well in the infantry engagement. Excuse me. The Night Goblins, pretty rough, but overall Black Orcs did very well. Goblin Archers, again, they were working on that Plague Priest the whole time, just couldn't quite take him down fast enough. He was able to shut down my Plague Claw Catapult before I did too much work, and the Orc Barbarians did relatively well for themselves also, but just kind of getting dragged down by the 1,000 cuts of the Skaven, definitely very strong. So in terms of the matchup, like I said, I have been more often seeing spiders in this matchup, which is an interesting pick. It's a little bit of a risk-reward for the Greenskins to go with the spider. It is going to be pretty good at taking down some of those large single model entities. It is going to be it will struggle against the Hell Pit Abomination, but it has very heavy armor. The only thing that it's going to be vulnerable to is, you know, obviously warp lightning cannons, things like that. The armor-piercing anti-large missiles of the Skaven here, so the warp lightning cannon and likewise poison wind globadiers, things like that, as well as the Hell Pit Abomination, are going to be a danger to the Ragnarok Spider. But the Ragnarok Queen in particular, the Spider Summon can be very strong in getting into Skaven backline. And yeah, I definitely like the pick of the Orc Barbarians. They can help take down Doom Wheels and so on. I mean, my opponent's army overall is pretty good. Wurzag's definitely strong in this matchup. Lore of the Big Wog definitely very nice, and my opponent did a great job of spamming these spells, both of which are very good against low armor units, Brain Burster and Headbutt here. I'd also probably take Fists of Gork as well, because a lot of Skaven units do have physical resistance, particularly like the Plague Monks, for example, that he was fighting there. If he had cast that Fists of Gork, he'd be able to do some magic damage there. Obviously, you want the Bonewood Staff and the Squiggly Beast, so something like that's pretty solid. Then you can also, you know, snare things like Doom Wheels and other large entities with the FGA to get, hunt them down, so very strong in that aspect. So I do like the core of my opponent's army with Wurzag here. I do think the Spider can be a decent pick, but it also can be a really pretty risky pick. But overall, I think his army was fairly solid, so let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below of the Skaven versus Greenskin matchup. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this kind of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.